Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
we're
We're
inside
inside
Priya's
Priya's
kitchen.
We're in the kitchen.
Priya,
So,
are you hearing a little bit? Oh, no, no, great. Never mind. I thought you were hearing an echo, but you're not.
am I not?
You're in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen. This is my kitchen. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be making something called Khaman Dokhla. And Khaman Dokhla, I usually just call it Khaman. Really, it's just Khaman, but I think it's like Dokhla. So Khaman is a Gujarati dish. Dokhla is like kind of like a similar dish that people just kind of put it together. It's a type of it's so basically what it is. What is it? It's a cake. It's like a savory
Ooh.
chickpea gluten-free cake, easily made vegan. I'm making it not vegan, but um, typically probably it is vegan. There are recipes for both, and yeah, it's a nice. It can be spicy. You can make it a little sweeter, a little tangy. So I'm gonna start, and it's a steamed cake. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
start by getting the steam bath ready, and that is over here. I'm gonna show you. I just have my little Dutch oven, any pot that'll fit the pan that you're cooking in. If you just put some water in it, and then I put a trivet just to kind of lift it,
Ooh.
just like that. I'm gonna put that on the stove. And
And
get
so when
that.
you say a steam cake, you mean it's cooked entirely by steam heat. So you're creating like a little oven, a steam oven inside of your Dutch oven.
That's correct. Yes. So I'm gonna put the cap
Ooh.
on.
And
And
your
I'll
Dutch
do like
oven is so pretty. What would you call that color? Like a robin's egg blue?
yeah, I guess so. There's a bit of a gradient,
Yeah,
you
very
know.
nice.
So I'm doing like a medium low heat. You don't want it to necessarily be boiling, and then also, but you want the steam to come up and kind of circulate. And also, we have uh, some ghee in the pan. So this is the pan that I'm going to be steaming the Khaman in, and so I'm just going to take the ghee and
And that's a stainless steel
yeah,
circular cake pan.
yeah, it's a stainless steel circular cake pan. This one has a lip on it. You know, I don't know why. I don't know where I got this one from. I'm gonna wash my hands. Usually I don't wash my hands after touching ghee because it's a great moisturizer, frankly. But okay.
And ghee is clarified butter.
Yes, that's correct. It's clarified butter. So in that little bowl, I have a cup of chickpea flour. So this is chickpea flour. I can show you.
Ooh.
Chickpea flour. It'll be clumpy. Don't worry about it. We're gonna add. We're gonna add a tablespoon and a half of semolina, which you just got.
Hell yeah.
Semolina. So that's this in here. We're gonna add 3 teaspoons of sugar in here. We're gonna add some lime. The recipe that I'm basing this off of is by Tarla Dalal, and she is kind of like you have Mother Joffrey, who's like the queen of South Asian cooking in the U.S. Tarla Dalal has like tons of cookbooks, but they're more for like the Indian market, not necessarily. Like they're just harder to find here.
Mm.
So this is based on her, and she asks for citric acid, but you could just use some lime. And we're gonna put some salt. Just a
Is
little
citric
bit.
acid a common cooking ingredient in Indian food?
Yeah, there are a couple. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. I don't know if that has to do with because there's plenty of lemons and limes there. So I'm not sure what that is, but it does come up a lot. And if you go to the Indian grocery store or a South Asian grocery store, you'll see citric acid, or what is it called? It's in here.
It's like a powder, right?
It's like a powder, yeah.
And
And
what's the kind of taste that has?
I
Just because
think
I
it's
don't
just,
cook with it a lot, does it have any taste or is it just a tartness?
I think it might just be the tartness without the wet, right? Like that way you're
Mmm.
not adding the moisture, but you can add the tartness.
Hell yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna take that as the answer forever. Great. So you got
so
your
we
dry
have
ingredients
dry ingredients plus the
with
lemon
your
juice.
lime.
And we're gonna add around a quarter of a cup of water to a half a cup of water. You just want to make like a thicker paste. So I'm going to do this. Okay. We're gonna whiskey whisk.
Whiskey whisk.
Yeah.
And are you trying to get all the lumps out, or are you? Or
You want a smooth batter,
is there?
but it's not.
Right.
What was the last part?
Or is there is there a worry about over mixing, under mixing?
I don't really. You definitely want to have it smooth. You don't want like dry lumps of batter, but like I wouldn't go crazy. And you don't need to bust out your stand mixer for this at all. I mean, this is like.
Oh, and we love that.
We love that. So you want it to be thick, but like not crazy thick. Maybe like pancake batter. So this is kind of the consistency. You can also add ginger chili paste, which is also found in stores. You can just add ginger, you can just add chili, you could add, any kind of flavoring. Otherwise, it'll just kind of have like a kind of tangy chickpea taste. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of yogurt. So this is what you don't need to put in. But I like it because it adds a creaminess and it adds the tang, because the tang is really nice. We're going to temper a topping that goes on top, and it really plays well with that topping. So this is the batter. It's just kind of thicker. And we're going to, before we pour it in, we just have to make sure that this is starting to steam. Turn that up. Right when you're ready to put it in the steaming situation.
Okay.
I have Eno, which is it's an antacid, but it's used a lot in Indian cooking. It's sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. Sodium carbonate, which is used in when ramen noodles, that like springiness and that alkaline, flavor. That's sodium carbonate. And then this also has, I think, citric acid in it. Something else. I'm pretty sure it's citric acid. But anyway, it's an antacid, but it works for creating the lift and spongy texture that you want in here. If you can get your hands on it, it's like $1 or $2, whatever. But if you can get your hands on it, great. They're found in like any South Asian grocery store. It's used a lot in Indian cooking. You can also just use baking soda.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you were to use Eno as an antacid, do you dissolve it in water? What do you do?
Yeah, you use a teaspoon. I did this a lot when I had my stomach flu. It's like half gone. I just got it. I use it a lot. You use it a teaspoon with like a cup of water, and it works pretty quickly, honestly. It's really nice. I like it a lot. And you can get flavors. You can get like citrus, you can get berry. I don't know.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you can see it, I put the Eno in here. You could use baking soda, like I said. And you're just going to fold it in very gently. You don't want to beat this because
And you've switched to a spoon. You discarded your whisk.
You don't need that anymore. And if there are clumps of the Eno in there, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But you want to be very gentle with this. And Eno helps because, if you want to get the lift and you don't want to use eggs, which a lot of, people don't eat eggs, then you can do that. So you can already see kind of that maybe.
Yeah, it's a little puffier now.
It's a little puffier.
Yeah. So
we're going to pour this batter in. It's already kind of doing its thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Pour the batter in.
Wow, it changed the consistency of that batter so quickly. It is so, wow.
It's wild. It just kind of comes to life a little. Okay.
You magical little antacid / leavener. Look at you.
Look at you. They do this. I mean, you use, in like breads and all kinds of stuff. Flatbread, not bread, flatbread.
And you just did a little, you spun it around on your counter and kind of tapped on the sides to spread out the dough?
Yeah, just to make sure that it's all kind of even. You're not tapping out any air bubbles, so it's not like that. But you're just kind of making sure that it's all even. And we're going to put this in the bath. And you can't really fuck this up because like you want to have a toothpick or something just to make sure that it's cooked maybe after 10-15 minutes. but I've definitely left it in there for like 20 and it's fine. The next
Wow,
step,
10, 15 minutes. That's pretty quick.
it's really fast, yeah. The next step is tempering the spices. So we're going to be using a neutral oil.
Grapeseed.
Grapeseed. I'm going to put that in our little pot. And I use a small saucepan. Indian kitchens have something called a dhokla, which is like a very small bowl that fits right on top of the grate or the oven, usually a gas oven. And that bowl they can like literally put into another pot. So when you're tempering the spices, you want the spices to kind of be ready for the food that you're going to make. So like bring out the flavor of the spices, and then the flavor transfers into the oil that you're cooking in. So say I'm making a soup, if I temper the spices and then put it in this more or less kind of bland base of the soup, you kind of have it.
It's a quick shock of infused flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's the, when people are like, oh, it's so hard to make, like, no, you just have to temper your spices. And that includes mustard seed is often used in Gujarati cooking. This is a spiced dabba.
Ooh.
So these are like the main Indian spices that I use.
So what you've just presented to the camera is like a circular tin that is filled inside with other smaller circular tins filled with gorgeous, vibrant spices.
That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you for that description. So yeah, I put in the black mustard seed and I put in cumin.
Cumin seeds. Cool.
I'm going to use asafoetida, which is called hing in Gujarati cooking. It is a gum. It's like a dried resin.
Ooh.
And you only use a little bit. I'm using about 1/8 of a teaspoon, a pinch or two. That kind of takes the place. It's a very pungent smell, a little sweet. It kind of takes the place of onion and garlic and leeks. And so we're going to put this on the heat, medium high, and we're going to let it crackle, and then we're going to add some more stuff. But it kind of takes the place of onion and garlic. There are religions and faiths that don't eat onion and garlic. They, feel like it raises your body temperature, your likelihood, your emotions, your anger, whatever. So, like for example, Jain cooking, they don't eat any kind of roots. So this is a way to flavor your food without using the roots. They don't want to harm the source of life for the plant, so they don't eat roots and things like that.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's very gentle.
It's very gentle. It's very sweet. So we're going to let that crackle. It's going to take a second. In the meantime, I chopped chilies.
Ooh, and those are green chilies?
These are green chilies. I like serrano. That's a good...
It's a little hotter than a jalapeno.
Yeah. A little
but
better.
still fruity and green.
Yeah. And then I have some curry leaves, which I don't know if...
Oh, so cool. Are those fresh curry leaves?
They are. I have a...
Oh, they're so tiny and
tweeny. Cutie. I have a little curry tree. It's very small. It's been through a lot. It's been through all of my moves.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked that it's not completely fucked up, honestly.
Your love has kept it alive.
Kept it alive. So you'll see, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting to crackle a little bit. Okay,
and you put this, did you heat the oil first and then add the spices, or did you put them in, you heated it all together?
Typically I would heat the oil first and then add the whole spices, but for here I kind of just had it on the table and added it. So when it starts sizzling, I add the chilies and the curry leaves. Okay, and I guess I'll use a little steam.
Ooh, listen to that sizzle.
You hear that sizzle? And you don't need to cook it for very long, actually. It's a pretty, you just want everything to kind of start letting out your flavors and kind of getting in the oil. And then the final thing, right when you're about to turn it off, right when you're kind of starting to smell all the smells. I use shredded coconut.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to use maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. This is completely up to you. If you don't like coconut, you don't have to use it. But it's really good on this bad boy.
It seems like it would add a really nice, fun texture.
Yeah, it does. And it adds a nice sweetness too. So you want the coconut to kind of let it do its thing. I'm taking it off of
Ooh,
stove.
nice golden brown.
Golden brown. Get a little thing, and we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of water.
Oh, sizzle, sizzle. So you're deglazing it a little bit with water.
So this is one that I made earlier, and so when it comes out, it's straight up fluffy.
Oh my God. Look at that sponge.
Yeah, it's wild. It's just like straight up. It's very. You could see. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see like holes in the and the bubbles that are kind of baked in.
It's very porous.
It's very porous. And so we're taking the water mixture. We don't want the water to escape. You want it to go into the Khaman part of the Khaman Dokhla thing.
Oh, and you're just spreading that beautiful water, oil, spice, chili mixture all over the top of that beautiful sponge. And it is just receiving that oil.
And the water is, it's able to kind of, it pulls, the flavors further down. It keeps it moist, that kind of a thing. And this is the life of the bean.
Great job. It's gorgeous.
Yay! Thanks so much for watching me do that.
What a beautiful cooking segment. And how, and then can you eat it hot? Do you eat it cold?
Yeah,
how do you eat it?
hot. I mean, I would eat it hot or room temperature. Cold might be not as fun, but you can do it. There's something wrong with it. This is going to be my nibble, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Great. Let's take a little break.
Let's take a break.